Good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope all of you have good health, all of you are fit and fine. Today we are going to continue our previous chapter only, and the name of the chapter was Birth, which was an excerpt written by A.J. Cronin, and this excerpt had been taken from the novel The Citadel, which was first published in 1937. In our previous class we have seen that how Andrew Mansion and Joe Morgan had reached number 12 Blenley Terrace, where Joe Morgan's wife was there, who was going to give birth a new child after the 20 years of their marriage. Because of this, Joe Morgan was very tense, was very much in a state of pressure. That's why he went to Andrew Mansion so that he may take the assistance, he may take the help of Andrew Mansion in order the delivery of her child, in order to delivery of his wife. Okay, now let's continue. The two men walked in silence until they reached the door of number 12. Then Joe drew up short. I will not come in, he said. Joe, when both of them reached there, then Joe told to the Andrew Mansion, sir, I will not go inside the house. I will not come in, he said. And his voice showed signs of strain. And because he was very much tense, he was very much strained. That's why Joe Morgan didn't got the courage enough to go inside that house, and he said that, and you mentioned that, sir, you may go inside, but I will not go inside. I will stand outside only, and I will wait for you. But man, I know we will do well for us. But he showed his optimistic view that I know that you will do well for us, that you are going to do well for us. So that's why you go inside and take care and see about the situation, about the condition of my wife, and try your best, and we hope on you only. Inside a narrow stair led up to a small bedroom, and the moment Andrew Mansion enters the house, he found a narrow stair. Led up to a small bedroom, and that stair had led him to a small bedroom. Means that stair was moving towards a small bedroom, clean but poorly furnished, and that room was very much clean, but it was poorly furnished. See, the characteristic, the importance, the quality of A.J. Cronin is that he beautifully picturized each and everything, that no one can say that this thing, sir, has missed it. But here, A.J. Cronin had picturized each and everything. Inside a narrow stair led up to a small bedroom, clean but poorly furnished. That room was clean but not very much well furnished, and lit only by an oil lamp. And in that room there was an oil lamp which is burned by an oil. Here's Mrs. Morgan's mother, and there Mrs. Morgan's mother was there. A tall, grey-haired woman of nearly 70, and there Mrs. Morgan's mother was there, who was nearly 70 years of age, and she is of 70 years of age, and he looks like a tall grey-haired woman, and she looks like a grey-haired woman who is of 70 years of age, and the stout elderly midwife waited beside the patient, and the stout elderly midwife was also standing there by the side of that door, watching Andrew's expression as he moved about the room. And this midwife was watching Andrew's expression as he moves about the room. They were watching the expression, the face gestures of the doctor. And who was the doctor? Andrew mentioned. Let me make you a cup of tea, Dr. Batch. Okay. Now, it was said that let me make you a cup of tea, Dr. Batch. What batch means? Batch is used as a term of endearment, often after a personal name. Okay. So that's why it was said that let me make a cup of tea for you, said the farmer quickly after a few moments. Actually, there Mrs. Morgan's mother was there. That's why she said that let me make a cup of tea for you. Andrew smiled faintly. And Andrew smiled faintly means actually he was not in a good mood when after the meeting of Christine, and he was very much tired and he was listless. Learn this word, listless. In this chapter we have learned a word, listless. He was very much tired, and he in the midnight only he had this number 12 Glenley Terrace. So that's why it was not a very good journey. That's why he laughed faintly, not in a good mood, just like a way. Andrew smiled faintly. He saw that the old woman, wise in expression, realized there must be a period of waiting that. And there Andrew mentioned, notice that old woman, in this all type of situations, old experienced woman's experience counts must. All these ladies' experience have some values. That's why it was said that by the expression of this old woman, it was seen that he had to wait for a period of minute. Okay, that he has to wait for a period. That she was afraid he would leave the case, saying he would return later. Andrew smiled faintly after Mrs. Morgan had asked whether I should make a tea for you. Then he laughed faintly. Then he saw that the old woman, wise in experience, means who was much experience, realized there must be a period of waiting, that delivery times is not nearer, means it will be occurred after some time. She was afraid he would leave the case, and she, means here Mrs. Morgan, was afraid that delivery is not going to happen right now. So that's why she was very much afraid that doctor might leave this case and he would return. Then, don't fret, mother. Now, Joe Andrew Manson said that, don't fret, mother. What this word means? Fret means FRET. Fret means worry. Okay. Don't fret, mother. I will not run away. And she said that. Sorry. No. Andrew Mason said that. Don't worry, mother. I will not run away. I will give you full assistance, the maximum thing which I can give you. Down in the kitchen, he drank the tea which she gave him, and after that, Andrew Mason came back to the down to the kitchen, and he drank the tea which was given by Mrs. Morgan. Overwrought as he was. Overwrought means tired. Or we can say that in a state of anxiety. Overwrought means tired as he was. He knew he could not snatch even an hour's sleep if he went home. Okay. Overwrought as he was, he knew he could not snatch even an hour's sleep if he went home. Here, Andrew Manson knows that the moment he will goes back to his house, then he is not in such a state that he will come back, because he was listless and he was not feeling well. That's why he presumed that, he accepted that if he will go back to his home, then he will feel tired and he will fall asleep up and there he will fall asleep, and then he cannot come here in a proper time. So it is better to stay here. That's why he went down to take a cup of tea. He went down to take a cup of tea from the Mrs. Morgan. Overwrought as he was. Overwrought means tired. Okay. Overwrought means tired. He said that and he accepted that he was tired, and he knew he could not snatch, and that snatch means he cannot take. Snatch means to take. That he knew he could not snatch, he could not catch even an hour's sleep if he went home. He knows that the moment he will goes back to his home, he will not able to take back his sleep or catch his sleep. A cure lethargy of spirit came upon him. Lethargy means lazy type. A lethargy means lazy type of spirit comes upon him, and he decided to remain until everything has over, and he wanted to stay there until everything comes to an end. An hour later he went upstairs again, and after an hour he went upstairs again, because earlier when he came, he gone straight away to that room only where that lady, where that Mrs. Morgan was there, and he was waiting for the delivery. But Mrs. Morgan, who was an experienced lady, by his expression it was assumed that that delivery would require some time, and Mrs. Morgan's mother asked him is asked, and you mentioned to take a cup of tea, and in order to take a cup of tea, and you mentioned had came downstairs, and he had taken a cup of tea, and after that now again he is going upstairs. An hour later, means he spent approximate 1 hour downstairs. An hour later he went upstairs again, and an hour later he gone back upstairs, noted the progress made, and he noted, means he had started giving the noticing, he started noticing the progress what is going to be made, came down once more, and he came down, and he again came back once more, sat by the kitchen fire, and he sat beside the kitchen fire. It was still except for the rustle of a cinder in the grate and the slow tick-tock of the wall clock. It was still except for the rustle. What this word rustle means? Crackling sound. Okay, rustle means crackling sound. It was still except for the rustle. Rustle means a type of crackling sound. A rustle of a cinder. Cinder means a small piece of partially burnt coal of wood. Okay, cinder means a small piece of partially burnt coal of wood. Cinder means partially burnt coal. Of wood. Cinder means partially burnt coal of wood. Or we can say that a small piece or we can say that a small piece of partially burnt coal of wood. Okay, it was still except for the rustle. Rustle means crackling sound. Okay. When Andrew mentioned gone upstairs, then what he saw, he was still, except for the rustle, a soft crackling sound was there, a soft crackling sound of cinder. We will notice that whenever this small coal of wood, whenever they burn, they always make a crackling sound. means this type of crackling sound they makes. And when Andrew Mason gone upstairs, then he noticed that there was nothing except the rustle, means a soft crackling sound of a cinder, so crackling sound of a small pieces of partially burnt coal of wood in the grate. The grate means a red color which whenever coals gets burned, and the slow tick tock of the wall clock, and the slow movement of the wall clock it was going on. These all things he noticed there, that it was still, except for the rustle, a small movement, soft movement of the clock with a cinder, and the red color had been seen, and the movement of the wall is seen. Movement of the wall clock had been seen there. No, there was another sound, the beat of Morgan's footsteps as he paced in the street outside. And he said that no, there was another sound also there. Means not only the sound, there was another sound also, and that is the beat of, actually in the earlier page we have seen that outside Joe Morgan was waiting. Joe Morgan was standing there. Only Andrew Manson had gone inside the house, because Joe Morgan had said that he is in a strain, he is in a stress situation, that's why he will not go inside. The same thing had been said here, that there was another sound also, means not only the soft sound of the cinder, but there was another sound also, and another sound was the beat of Joe Morgan's footsteps as he paced in the street outside. Because Joe Morgan was standing outside on the street and he was moving. And the same thing is said here, that not only this sound, but the movement sound of the Joe Morgans who was moving on the street, this sound was also being seen there. The old woman opposite him sat in her black dress, and the old woman where the Andrew Mason was sitting, opposite to him, the old woman was sitting, and she was wearing a black dress, quite motionless, and she is quite motionless. Her eyes strangely alive and wise, and her eyes voice is very strange. Her eyes was strangely alive and wise, probing, never leaving the face. Probing means inquiring, and she was inquiring closely, never leaving her face. Actually, here the narrator wants to say that the old woman who was sitting there, he was continuously looking towards the face expression of the Andrew Manson. That's why it is said that the old woman opposite him sat in her black dress, quite motionless. The old woman was sitting there opposite to the Andrew Manson, and he was quite motionless, means he was not moving there. And her eyes strangely alive, and her eyes, the old woman's eyes, was opened in a very strange condition and probing, and it looks like that she is inquiring something from the face of the Andrew Manson and never leaving his face, and that lady is continuously looking towards the eyes of Andrew Manson. His thoughts were heavy, muddled, and it was said that his thoughts, means Andrew Manson's thoughts, were heavy and muddled. Muddled means untidy or not arranged in order. Okay, untidy or not well arranged.